Speedway is among the most historic and busiest racetracks in all of America. Immediately adjacent to NASA's Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia, the relatively flat 3/8 mile oval has been launched at the launching pad for many NASCAR careers, including those of Denny Hamlin and Elliott Sadler, and was the site of 9 NASCAR Grand National races won by the likes of Ned Jarrett, Bobby Isaac, Bobby Allison, David Pearson, and of course Richard Petty. Langley's heritage dates back to the 1940s when the property was the site of an 8/10 of a mile horse racing track known as the Dude Ranch. The track owners occasionally promoted auto races and at the track, and by the end of the 1950s realized that auto racing attracted bigger crowds than the horses. They shortened the track to its current length and eventually sold the facility to Harry Kilch in 1963. Kilch immediately set about making improvements to the rough and tumble racetrack and hosted NASCAR Grand National Series events between 1964 and 1970. Langley was paved in 1968 and 2 years later hosted the final Grand National race before the series was renamed the Winston Cup. Today, Langley hosts a variety of NASCAR sanctioned events, including the Whelen All-American Series. The track currently hosts 11 divisions, which alternate running during their Saturday night program. Late models, modifieds, legend cars, super street, super trucks, pro wing champ karts, and enduros. Tonight, it's the late model stocks of the IROC Challenge Series Twin 125s at Langley, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Langley Speedway. I'm Steve Singer, joined in the booth by Zach Millett here with HBR TV. What's going on, Zach? How are you?
Hey, not too bad, Steve. How about you?
Really excited to get this one kicked off. Good old door-slamming short track racing here from Langley Speedway. Let's take a look at those race details. We've got 2 races in store tonight. Twin 125 lappers to be specific. Air temperature currently 78 degrees, 45% humidity, partly cloudy skies, almost no breeze at 2 miles per hour. Track temp, little toasty, 134 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers have a full load of fuel here tonight, and I believe 2 sets of tires in pit lane to get things taken care of if they so choose to use them. And we do have 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish tonight if necessary. And, Zach, your favorite, no fast repair.
Oh, beautiful. That's the only way to do it, Steve.
Warm-up session just about wrapped up here from the Speedway. Kyle Turzak fastest in this session, not fastest in qualifying. Brian McCann edging Turzak out by about 0.02 of a second. Take a look at the starting grid here in just a little bit. Brian McCann, Zach, I don't think he even took a lap here in this warm-up.
No, I don't see him out there at all. He might just be set with the laps he took in qualifying and practice, and maybe he's just ready to go.
Looking at the live timing here, actually looks like he did turn about 4 laps. That's it. Best lap was a 16:57, but his time in qualifying, certainly enough to put him on the pole position. He'll be fast here tonight regardless. Again, fixed setup racing, so it's not like they switched over to the race trim, and that's the lap time McCann's going to be stuck with. I think that's just a quick, all right, we're settled in here, we got the right setup in the car, the way that it's supposed to be, whether it's steering ratios, that sort of thing. A few things that you can change in these cars. That's going to wrap it up. Warm-up session in the books. What's next? Well, the race. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 16.055 seconds, it's the 3 of Brian McCann. Outside, front row, the 0.51 of Kyle Turzak. 27 thousandths of a second, the differential from first to second. Row number 2, it's Mike Cook in the 00. Brandon Meffer in the number 83 will start 4th. Row number 3, it's Brent Butler and Garrett Johnston. Starting in row number 4, it's Steve Durbin and Josh Funkhauser, the number 81. Starting 9th, it's Nuke Quick in the 4 with the 2 of Neil Quick to his outside. Starting 11th, it's William Tyndall, the number 62. Josh Stewart in the 03 will start in the 12th position. Starting 13th, the 51 of Chris Wally. Timmy Schofield in the 12 will start 14th. 15th starter, the Charity Motorsports number 84 of Matt Kopp, flanked by the 44 of Larry Bruner. He'll roll off 16th. 17th starter, it's Todd Kleek in the 45. Doug Wysocki will start in 18th. Jason Nilges, the number 88 machine, will start in the 19th position. 20th goes to the 9 of Adam Benefil with Ellswick Esports. 21st starter with DJG Motorsports. It's the number 99 that is, of Jared Wiedner. 21 car field here tonight. We're already rolling here on our one of two pace laps before we'll see the green flag just momentarily.
Well, Steve, you know what time it is.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Get out of my head, Steve.
Brian McCann. Brian McCann.
Oh, man.
I think he breaks the curse here tonight. He's going to take this win.
I think that's a pretty good pick. I hate to say it. I'm not going to say it like I'm going to go out in a leaf here because I know this guy can win anytime. But it's good to see him back racing. Neil Quick. I think he's going to save some tire. I think he might even come down pit if we get some early cautions, then get back out. And if some of these leaders are going too hard and blowing a tire, I think he's going to cycle up to the top and take the win tonight.
Neil Quick driving the number 2, the old blue colors, the Miller Lite colors Rusty Wallace made famous. Pace car is in, green flag is in the air, and we're racing from Langley Speedway. Brian McCann still out in front over Kyle Terzak. Third is Brandon Mefford. Mike Cook, Brent Butler, your top 5. Battle on for the top spot already here as we complete lap number 2. McCann has it for the time being. Terzak got a lot of left turn into that car off turn 4. Stuck it to the inside of McCann on exit. Not able to get alongside or stay there. They still battle into turns 3 and 4.
Man, it's going to be a toss-up tonight, Steve, to see how much these guys push right off the bat. It certainly doesn't look like anybody's saving a thing yet, though.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, this little 3/8 mile racetrack, 125 laps. I mean, it's go time from the drop of the green flag. You got to get going. I know it may seem like a long race at 125 laps, but again, they're getting around here in about 16 seconds every time by. They got work to do. They better get after it. These guys up front, they're battling for that top spot. Terzak not content as he goes to the inside. 3 and 4, the battle for the race lead. Off turn number 4, Terzak with the nose out in front. McCann battling back. I think Terzak may have led the lap. Terzak's, he knows this place very well, it seems. He found a lot of grip there at the entry to turn 1. Zach, I don't know if you saw it. He clipped the left sides way below the racing surface, but apparently there's some grip down there.
Yeah, there's certainly some grip to be had down there, especially in the entry. The exit's a little bit of a story, though. If you're a little too low coming off these turns, it gets pretty loose really quick.
Top 3 drivers under a blanket out of turn number 4. That's the battle. McCann wasn't able to hang on to that top spot for very long, but again, he's cagey. He's a veteran out there. A lot of experience. I think he's been on the sim longer than Kyle Terzak's been on this planet. Brian may just get this figured out at some point.
That's such a crazy stat, too, isn't it, Steve?
But, you know, it's the reality of racing. You see it, whether it's in NASCAR or your local short track. Some guys that have been out there racing 20, 30 years, and you got some young kid who's 12, 13 years old driving a late model. It does happen, and sometimes those young kids, they go out there, they don't have any fear, and the reason for that lack of fear is, well, they haven't hit anything hard enough to develop it yet. That will come with time, but for now, guys like Kyle Terzak, blistering pace.
Yeah, nothing but just pure speed, lap after lap.
Continue to watch this top 3 battle. Terzak, McCann, and Mefford. Brandon Mefford, that is. I don't know if Chris Mefford is in this one tonight. Doesn't appear to be. We see him every now and again.
I see Brian's car getting a little loose on the exit here. I wonder if he's just trying to put the power down a little quick.
Tell if it's that or if he's just opening up the wheel a little bit earlier because he does come up the racetrack. He's trying to chase it. middle of the corner. I think he was either trying to slam the door on Brandon Mefford there, or if he's trying to see where Terzak's finding that grip. I think McCann found it, and it kind of surprised him because that's where he saw the back of that car step out.
Yeah, it's just so hard to pass here, especially when you get further into the run.
And we got trouble.
Something to drink. Get a deep breath.
Trouble on the middle of 1 and 2, it looks like. Pace car is trying to thread the needle through this mess.
Stig did a pretty good job.
Race leaders trying to get through. Some guys are going to lose a lap out of this. So yellow on the field, first of the night, 16 laps in, involving a handful of drivers. Let's see if we can get a look at what brings us under our first caution of the night. Looks like Matt Kopp may have been in this. Looks like it happened just ahead. The 99 of Wiedner. The 88. Jason Nile just gets into him. Then Chris Wally gets into Nile. Just kind of a chain reaction incident after the fact. Yeah, and you see the same thing. Matt Kopp comes in. Domino effect. Nile just gets run into by Chris Wally. Chris Wally gets run into by Matt Kopp. Looks like a 4-car incident. I'm going to watch it from Chris Wally's perspective and see what the in-car looked like. Oops. Surprise.
Yeah, it just happened so quick.
And it's interesting. We'll listen to that again here at full speed. Wally was just getting back to the gas after he made contact, and then he gets run over. Here the RPM spike. That's because the rear tires weren't on the ground. So even under caution, we've clicked off 3 laps just looking at replays. This place is not very big at all. Get those laps done in a hurry. Pace car light's still on, though. We'll see if they go out here as we cross for lap 20. Zach, I know you've got all 9/10 of the season under your belt over the Num Thumbs Racing League. We've got the season finale coming up this coming Wednesday at Myrtle Beach in these late model stocks. I know you ran this track over with Num Thumbs. I forget at what stage of the season it was, but what do you remember about this place? I know it's tight, it's short, it's quick. What's your take on this place?
One thing that comes to mind is the restarts. Every time we had a restart, it was the worst because as the leader, you could only defend so much. And with the ability to use that track underneath that yellow line, I mean, people could really send it in there, and there's just not much you can do about it.
Keep an eye on it as we get ready here. Pace car lights are off. Pace car is in pit lane. Barney with the flag in hand, and we're back racing. Terzak out to the early lead, and Brian McCann has lost the second position to Brandon Mefford. Mefford has gone around, and the caution's out again. More trouble off turn 2. Nile just facing the wrong way. I don't know if that was a 2-car incident or if Nile just came around on his own. Let's take a look at the replay. Fighting for the same piece of real estate with the 62 of William Tyndall.
That looks like pretty much exactly what we were mentioning right before that restart there.
Yeah, the guy got to the bottom, and there you go. We'll back it up a little further from the blimp cam. This will really tell the tale. And actually, Tyndall came across the nose there of Wysocki. I don't know if there was some contact that pushed him deeper into the corner than he had anticipated. He's way down the bottom. And that opening, and it's deceiving because you've got the white line and the yellow line. If Tyndall's basing his entry on that yellow line, it looks like he had the door open, but that white line is effectively the dividing line between the apron of the racetrack and the racing surface itself, so he really didn't have as big of an opening as he might have thought. I think that's what precipitated all of this.
That was a pretty darn good job by Wysowski to not spin him into the corner and then check up right after to not hit anything. That was a good piece of driving by him.
Doug's been doing this a long time, especially over here in IROC, certainly an IROC Challenge Series veteran. Spent some time racing in No Bull.
Yeah, he's just one of the cleanest drivers out there too, Steve. Every time I've run with him, he's given more than enough room. He's just a good racer.
You know, it's funny because over the seasons, you've always heard someone complain about somebody else at some point. And I've heard the name Wysocki come up a lot. It's like, oh, Doug did this or Doug did that. But, man, I know I haven't raced him a ton, but you have by comparison. And I've never had an incident with Doug where there was a problem. He's always raced me clean, like you were saying. It's never been an issue. He did a great job checking up there, but he's got some work to do here. Just restart from the back of the field to be 20th. Niall just to be 21st. Looks like Doug might be getting a couple of spots back.
I'm thinking some of these guys that came down under these cautions to get some tire. I mean, 27 lap advantage on some tires. That might be worth something here when we get towards the end of this thing.
We'll see how it goes. We're only 27 laps in. Again, you see some guys might have actually taken 2. It looks like Mike Cook, possibly Garrett Johnston, might have taken 2. I think usually 23, 24 seconds is that 4-tire stop, but some guys taking just rights, maybe just some fuel to top off, but the majority of leaders have stayed out. Pace car's in, green flag in the air. We're back racing once again. McCann back into that second spot again. I think Mefford is now your race leader. Yes, he is. Kyle Turzak was one of those drivers that made a pit stop, a 10.3 second stop. Zach, what do you say? Is that right sides or is that going to be just fuel? There, yellow.
Yes.
Man, I don't know. 10 seconds. That seems like, oh no, 10 seconds too long either way now.
Well, he restarted near the back as it was. And here's the thing with Turzak. He is so fast, but when he gets mired in the back of the pack, you're in a spot you don't want to be in. You want to work your way back towards the front as fast as possible, which leads to some aggression. But let's see what happened here with the 051, if that had anything to do with it or not. So he was looking outside. Goes hard left to the bottom there. Throttles up. Oh, okay. It happened in front of him. He checks up, and the 76 doesn't. No real contact to speak of. A little bump in the rear bumper is not going to hurt anything, but he's still going to have to restart this from the tail of the field. He's still got to work his way through this mess.
Man, it's just so tough to see when you get bunched up like that. I mean, if there's a checkup up in the front of the field, man, it's almost impossible to tell.
And it's interesting, too. Looking at the drivers that made their early pit stops, they're typically, and I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody, but they're guys that you don't typically see winning these races each and every week. Granted, that's just about everybody in this league since Turzak's won almost every race. But those guys, they're trying a different strategy. You know, you hear Larry Mack say if you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. That's true, but Turzak's the leader, or at least he was at the time of that caution where he made his pit stop. I don't know why he decided it was going to be the best choice to come down and pit, even if it's just for fuel. I know it kind of puts him on a different cycle, but is it possible that McCann, winning that pole position, might have gotten into Turzak's head just a tiny bit? I remember, he's a young kid. McCann's got oodles of time and experience on iRacing. What do you think caused that decision?
Man, it's hard to say. It certainly looked from this perspective like Brian was kind of right there with Kyle, and it didn't look like he was driving the car as hard. It looked like he was kind of, opening up the corners like you mentioned and saving his stuff. So maybe that got into Kyle's head there, and maybe he just thought that he needed to get some tires and get on a different strategy.
Well, we'll see if it pays off. So far, it hasn't worked out for him since he was effectively part of that caution. Finishing up yellow, number 3, pace car hits pit lane.
Green flag.
Mefford on throttle as soon as he can, and he's off and running. tell you, McCann's got Steve Durbin working the backside big time. A little loose on exit.
That's how hard it is with this track temp to get that power down to that ground.
Speaking of track temp, we'll take a look at it. It's still nice and toasty. It's actually a little bit warmer now, 136 degrees Fahrenheit. Partly cloudy skies. That's not going to help things. If it gets a little overcast, maybe it'll cool things down. But the way the weather looks today, don't count on it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that played a role in Terzak's decision there. I mean, that temperature, that's some serious temp. I don't know. I probably would have done the same thing. Get some tires and just, you know, get a different strategy and play the long run here.
I don't know. I don't know if it's worth that much of an advantage when you got to work your way through this field. I mean, we've got 21 cars that showed up tonight. And this is not an easy place to pass on, even if you're fast. Of course, I say that. Terzak's already worked his way into 15th.
And see, he does that, but what kind of heat has he put into those tires already?
Well, there's that too. And he's down on the flat of the racetrack, so that's going to abuse him as well. Well, by the time you make it, if we have a long green run here, by the time you make it back up to the front, in with the Brian McCanns and the Meffords and the Durbins and the Quicks, how much tire do you have left? Even though in the 00 with trouble on the backstretch, he gets spun around in turn 3. Yellow is out.
Hold your position. I know, man. I think we need to start putting like an age limit on racing or something.
That was a close call.
Oh, big ditch there he just drove through.
Jeez. Yeah, I didn't think there was that big a hole in the infield, but that was some serious bump.
Well, we kind of saw it start to unfold as we were talking. Let's see what happened here at 00. Terzak was to the inside. Was there any contact here? I don't think so.
Boy, if not, look how close this is.
There's still about a half car width between the two of them. The 45 was kind of trying to catch it now. It looks like Cook just lost it on his own, and he might have still made contact with Terzak just a tiny bit. I'll tell you, Adam Benefield did a great job diving to the bottom of the racetrack to not collect the 00.
Man, these are one of the hairiest cars when they get sideways like that, start tank slapping. They're so hard to save. That's a heck of a job by Mike to keep it out of the wall.
Watch the view from Adam Benefield here as he tries to clear him.
Oh, that's scary.
Could have been a bad day. So it looks like Mike stays in the lead lap, but looks like he's also battling some connection issues. That car's blinked in and out of the session a couple of times here just since this caution came out. Larry Bruner's going to hit pit road here. So is Jason Nilges. Now you see that Bruner made a quick stop there at the end of pit lane. I got to wonder if that was a closed pit out. In fact, is this the place that you had that same problem? Catching that black flag for the...
Actually, you know where that was? You'd never think of a place like that having pit closed ever. Was Chicagoland. I had such a lead that I actually had to come to a complete stop after taking 2 tires, and it's one of those racetracks you never even look for that, you know. So I blew right past the red light, and got an EOL, and there was a big wreck the next lap, and that was my race.
I thought it was in the late model.
Came close a couple times, but ever since that Chicagoland race, I've been pretty attentive on that.
Working lap 45 here at Langley. We're going to watch Kyle Terzak here at the restart and see how he works his way through this traffic. How many spots can he pick up as we get ready to go back green?
Flag.
There it is, green flag back in the air. Turzak might have even lost a spot on that start. Back to start finish, though, is looking awfully aggressive in behind the 9. Gets to the inside to 1 and 2, all the way down to the grass in 1 and 2.
Man, I don't know how he got the power down coming out of there.
Oh,
lots of contact. Oh. Lots of checkups here.
It's going to be chaos here in a minute. Turzak up to 12th, looking for 11th. Oh, Benefield drives it deep and spins him.
Yep.
Caution's out, caution's out.
Yeah, I gotta wonder.
Sure you got your release mark correct.
I don't think the 9 car liked how he was raced here. It might not be over here.
We got big time antics here. And that all happening in front of the 51 of Chris Wally. He's effectively a race admin, I believe.
This might be where that age comes in, Steve. You know, it's just tough not to get angry, you know, but at the same time, you know, kind of doing a retaliation thing, you're only hurting your own car, only hurting your own race at this point.
I'll get a look at it once again. I'm going to back it up a little bit further here and watch from above. I think the 9 got on the brakes about 10 minutes too late.
Oh, yeah, he was almost sideways getting in there so hot.
You know, and I get it. You know, the 051 is being very aggressive. But he didn't wreck you. He might have roughed you up a bit. That's fine. But you don't go into the next corner and just straight dump the guy because he roughed you up. You're on a 3/8 mile short track. Those things are going to happen. On top of the fact, you've got half the field behind you. If you want to dump a guy, you know, 25, 40 laps into a run when things are somewhat spread out, okay, you got a chance of nobody collecting them, but you could have taken out 5, 6 cars there. You know, like you said, I mean, I get the frustration. I get that, you know, some guys have hot heads and they short fuse and they just kind of go off, but you got to think big picture. At the end of the day, this isn't real racing. This is a video game. I know, I said it. It's a simulator, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, you're not making thousands of dollars on iRacing. Most guys aren't making any money on iRacing. Go out and have a good time.
Yeah, and it's just the worst thing if you're one of these guys, you know, behind this battle, and you're just racing your own race. You haven't gotten into anybody. You're just doing your own thing, and then something like this happens, and you get collected. You know, that's the worst thing. But these guys up here, they're loving it.
Ten laps shy of halfway. Brandon Mefford still out in front. Brian McCann will restart to the outside. Row 2, Steve Durbin and Neil Quick, with Brent Butler in 5th. Josh Funkhauser, William Tyndall, Doug Wysocki, Nuke Quick, and Todd Cleek.
Hashtag 2-car for the win.
These cars in. Mefford with a great restart once again. Jumped on the throttle as soon as he could.
Big crash.
We got some excitement.
Turzak's in this one too. Turzak got through it. I don't know how much. These guys are still going. I don't know if they were involved in this together, but the way the 9 rolled up on Turzak there, it kind of thought it was going to happen all over again. Well, let's see if we can figure this one out. On the restart, I think it was, it's into turn 1. Things happening. Josh Funkhauser, Doug Wysocki. We talk about how clean Doug was, and there was some contact there.
Just this broadcaster's curse never fails.
Turzak
wow, did Kyle, he
through.
snuck by.
Yeah, he got by on the outside.
That was tight. Watch this too, Steve. He was the only car to go high in this situation too.
Yeah, watch a little close here, the incident that kicked this off. It just kind of looks like the 34 just didn't turn in.
Yeah, I think he just missed. He missed his turn in just by a little bit, but that's all it takes at a small place like this. Look at all the cars
running in close to the guy in front of you. You kind of miss if you can't see your mark. A lot of times, it's very likely you're going to miss that turn in or even your braking point.
Right.
Terzak might have scraped the wall, but just a hair, not too bad. Now, for reference, trying to get the stages straightened out here because they are different for the twins versus the full-length races. So stage 1's already in the books. That was a lap 25. I think we had a natural caution for that one anyway. Stage 2 will be lap 65. So just past halfway, we should get stage 2. But with that said, we're not supposed to get a caution, though we have had a caution for some of these stages in these 125ers. So we'll see what happens. If they get to lap 65 and complete it and the yellow doesn't come out, well, that makes sense. And if it doesn't, if it does come out still, well, it still makes sense. We're just going to roll with it.
I like it. Play by ear.
You see who's starting right near that 9 car again?
Yeah, this is going to be, this is good for us to be up here and watch it. Some pretty big gaps on that top side. Real big gap behind Neil there.
William Tyndall not tucked up, but green's back in the air. Ryan McCann timed it a little better this time. Durbin looking to the inside, but McCann's going to have to run out of turn number 2. Lap 63, just past halfway. And Terzak in behind the 9 of Adam Benefield once again. We'll see how this battle continues.
Yeah, you know, something in me tells me the 9 car is just not going to give it to him, Steve. I don't know. Just got a feeling.
Terzak taking a look to the bottom. Left side's almost below the yellow line again. Remember, he had all 4 below the yellow line through 3 and 4 previously. I think that's kind of what frustrated Adam. Lap 65 goes up on the board. Brandon Mefford still out in front. Off turn 4, he'll win stage number 2. We stay green. So that's that. Stage 2 in the book. Stage 3 begins now. We're going to step aside, get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
back at Langley, we've
but
got
I'll
big
leave this
trouble.
one on you if you
Caution
want
out
to
again,
fail,
and
fail.
Kyle Turzak, once again involved in this one, gets right hooked after going to the bottom. Turzak was making his way through the field. I think he got up to 11th. This time he's got some damage. He's going to have to get her fixed. I think he's might be out of this one. I think he's called it quits. Yep. Well, let's get a look at it. We'll back it up a little bit further here. We noticed this during the break. The 051 at Turzak drove it way down to the bottom of the racetrack on the 62, and William Tyndall, I think, just didn't take too kindly of it. You see, Tyndall's already turned in, and Turzak's driving to the bottom. I mean, I see why he'd be frustrated. Ran Tyndall down to the grass. I'm sorry, ran Turzak to the grass, but then gave him some space to come back up. Whether that was intentional or the car just pushing up the track, I don't know. But I think this all kicks off in turns 3 and 4. Yeah. That was a right hook if I've ever seen one.
Man, you hate to see it, but short track racing. Insert the Denny Hamlin meme right here.
Right? I don't know.
Well,
Turzak might be out of this. I'm not sure, but he definitely towed from that one space in pit lane.
Yeah, I think he's done for the night, and I think it ultimately answers the question, Steve. You know, if it was worth coming in for those tires or not. I mean, I think everybody's good on gas, obviously, with the cautions we've had.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we talked about early on is, you know, you come down and try to get a tire advantage and get off cycle, but you keep getting cautions. You said it yourself, cautions breed cautions, but you still got to get through the minutia, get through the mess of the rest of the field, starting out at the back. It can be tricky. And again, my observation with Turzak, he's got a ton of talent. But I think he's just got to dial it back just a bit when he's trying to cut through the field for position. He gets through no problem when he's just lapping guys. But when he's in the back of the pack, it's like panic mode. He's got to get back to the front. I think he just needs to calm down because he could just run 75% and he's going to pass 3/4 of this field without really pushing the envelope too much. Once he gets towards the front, okay, dial things back up. But I don't know. I think with that level of aggression, you get guys kind of tweaked at you, and they're not going to give you an inch, and sometimes they'll take their retaliations out on you. We'll see what happens. But
Green flag.
green flag back in the air. Brandon Meffert running away.
Then if you look closely, you'll see Millet's pick for the race.
And caution out again, though. Now just facing the wrong way.
Ooh. That pace car, man, he is just fearless.
Well, the pace car has learned to apparate through things,
That would help.
so it's a nice feature. We'll take a look at it here. The 88 going around again. He was involved in this, but again, things happening out in front is what kicked this off. And then Matt Kopp just still on throttle, just drives in the back of the 88. Niall just was checked up for the wreck that was happening, and I guess some of the guys didn't get the message.
That's just that vision thing again, too, Steve, is when you're back in the pack like that. And I mean, you sit so low in these cars, you just can't see a thing.
Well, I mean, that's the truth, but at the same token, when the field in front of you is all checking up and you're catching them in such a hurry that you are, it's got to be an indication that something is wrong. I mean, tire smoke displays, regardless of how far back you are, and that stuff goes a little higher in the air than the race car does, but...
Yeah, after being on the sim for a little while, I've noticed one thing for sure that never fails, and that is smoke is bad. Smoke is a bad sign. Slow down.
Yeah, you can see it. That camera's built into the helmet of the driver, so if we can see it, he can see it. So 89 laps complete here from Langley Speedway, now 90. And unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to our buddy Zach Millett here momentarily. He's got to run off to work in about 2-3 minutes. So either way, Zach, thanks for joining us here for a portion of the race. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, it was a pleasure as always. I'll be looking forward to next week. It's the only thing is when we get these double headers, it's just tough to get them in before I got to run to work. But yeah, anytime I can, I'd love to jump in the booth with you. It's fun.
Well, we'll get this restart out of the way and then say have a good night to Zach Millett. Pace car hits pit road. Mefford on the gas right away. Big time restart for the 83s. He gets out in front of McCann and Neil Quick. Tyndall coming out of the pits right at the restart. Well, that was scary.
That got tight quick.
3 wide in behind him. Garrett Johnston in that mix as well. Tyndall to the bottom of the racetrack. These guys, while watching Terzak, they have learned that you can find a ton of grip on the bottom of the racetrack. It may not be great for the tires across the board as the 99 goes around. Doug Wysocki, so does Steve Durbin.
Hey man, your mic
and we're
sounds
under
like
caution
a little far
once
away from your
again.
mouth again. Just double check that for us, please.
Man. Well, the cautions will breed cautions for sure.
They're a happy old bunch these days. They're breeding all kinds of cautions.
Yeah, it's springtime here.
Late model stocks are in the rut, per se.
I don't know if there was much consent given on that last wreck, but
Let's see what really started here. Does this kick off with the 99? Purple machine, center your screen. I don't know if he just stood on the brakes because he was going to get into the back of the 9, but the car got loose. Then Durbin gets into the back to finish this spin. And then domino effect from there. The 4 drives up underneath Durbin, and then Doug Wysocki is going to hit the 4, I think. No, Nile just is going to hit Wysocki and turn him around. And then hit the 4. Well, with that, Zach, again, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll have you back here in the near future. I think we got a break next week, but I believe, let me take a quick gander at the upcoming schedule. Yes, we do have a break next week. The 18th will be off, but we come back March 25th at Slinger Speedway for 200 laps.
oh, beautiful. Yeah, I don't want to miss that one.
That should be a good one. But again, Zach, thanks for joining us here in the booth, man. Have a safe night at work.
Alrighty, man. We'll catch you later.
Take care, brother. Zach Millett leaving the booth for us here at HBR TV. Again, thanks to Zach for jumping up here and saying hello. So now I'm all alone. Definitely been an eventful evening for many drivers this evening. Unfortunately, Kyle Terzak out of this one early. Trying to get through the field and unfortunately getting turned there late. 62 William Tyndall getting to the right rear and sending the 051 up the racetrack. Now, with that said, I don't know how badly damaged the race car was for Terzak. It might have had some front end damage and the wheels may not have been straight. And of course, no fast repair, so that doesn't help things either. Pace car lights are off. We get ready for yet another restart. Brandon Mefford, Brian McCann get to lead them back to start finish. Then Neil Quick, 76 of Brent Butler, and 5th is Garrett Johnston.
Green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Not a great jump for Brandon Mefford this time. I don't know who timed it, but here we go again. Yet another caution. Mike Cook facing the wrong way in the middle of 1 and 2. Oh, this thing started on the front stretch. Larry Bruner, Jason Nilgis. Back it up a little further and get an idea what happened here exactly. This actually looks like it might have started coming to green. So half the field's hanging back here. You see everyone else fires off, and the rest of this group kind of stuck in the back, though some guys got the message and they hit the throttle and go. That's going to cause a stack up here. They're technically 3 wide right here. The 4 clips the 44 Bruner, sends him into Mike Cook. Nile just tries to squeak by on the inside, but you see the 44 is going to right rear the 88, sends him back up the track into the 00. Race 1 turning into a demolition derby here at Langley. This place is tough. Some guys certainly struggling with it here this evening. Interestingly enough, Kyle Turzak did not leave the session. It looks like he did tow eventually to his pit stall, got some repairs made. He's back out there trying to accrue some additional points. Not that he truly needs it. He's won a ton of races this season, but good to see him get back out there and not throw in the towel. I really do like to see that out of guys, regardless of the circumstances. He certainly got a raw deal tonight. Running back in the 21st spot, multiple laps down. We'll see what he can pick up. 25 to go here. Again, his finishing position, this could still work out for him depending if he can pick up some spots. I know they do a bit of an invert here for race number 2. That's right. We do have another 125 lap event coming up after this one. Still running behind the iRacing pace car. Lights still on. Chris Wally, driver the number 51, not the 051, the 51 in the IROC chat. Getting a little sleepy, I think. Field working through 3 and 4 will be green flag racing when we get back to the flag stand. It'll be 22 laps to go as the pace car peels off. Field up to speed, and we're back racing from Langley. Battle is on for the 2nd spot. Brian McCann to the inside of Neil Quick. Quick in the 2, still hanging tough on the outside. Tries to slot in behind the 3, but he's got the 15 of Johnston. Attacking now for the 3rd position. Johnson gets into him into turn 1, not able to complete the pass or really upset the 2 that much. On board with Garrett Johnston in the 4th position as he tries to get back to the 2. A little loose on exit, has to lift just a bit, loses a car length. Gains some of it back in the middle of 3 and 4. On board with Neil Quick, looking back at the 15. Interestingly enough, the top 3 drivers have yet to make a pit stop here tonight. One other driver has not. That's the 03 of Joshua Stewart. Josh running in the 7th spot. A little bit of contact. Johnston gets to the back bumper as the caution comes out. Todd Kleek involved in this. 45, looks like he's already straightened back out, but some damage to that machine. Take a look at it here real quick. Drives it in hard into turn 3 and just too much rear brake per se. Car gets crossed up down low on the racetrack, slides it back up, and it looks like Niall just might run him over here as he's starting to spin anyway. Finishes him off. Stays off the inside wall, continues on. With that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Back at Langley Speedway, going to be 12 laps to go as we still work behind the iRacing pace car. Race number 1. It's been a very eventful one. Lots of crashes, lots of carnage, lots of cautions. Hopefully race 2 yields a little bit cleaner event. Still in behind the pace car here. We're going to go one more lap, I think, before we take the green flag. It'll be 10 laps to go when we settle this one. Green flag back in the air. 10 laps to go from Langley Speedway. Brian McCann got a much better restart this time, but he's still got to worry about Neil Quick. Neil Quick in the 2 to the bottom of the racetrack. Tries to get alongside. Little issue for Mefford on turn number 2. Gets crossed up. Neil Quick goes to the bottom of the racetrack looking for the race lead. Quick unable to clear McCann. Up the racetrack, they still fight it out for the second position. 9 laps to go. Brandon Mefford regains his composure. He's back in the throttle, and now McCann with an issue off of turn number 2. He tucks in behind Neil Quick. Quick finally clear of the 3 as he sets sail for Brandon Mefford. Eight laps remain here in race number 1 of 2 tonight. Mefford in his own world right now, and Brian McCann trying to reel in and pass the 2 of Quick. I think Brian's just a tick faster than the 2 right now. He can't seem to get by, but man, you got to be a lot faster to complete a pass here. 6 laps to go, still running in behind Quick. Drives it to the inside, down to 1 and 2, all the way down to the flat of the racetrack. We'll see if he can make it stick. Doesn't look like it, but he stays there. Just a nose into the left rear quarter of the 2, back into 3 and 4. McCann trying to complete this pass as we've got now 5 laps remaining. Oh, and in behind the 76 of Brent Butler, looking racy as well. He lifts up big time to avoid contact with Neil Quick mid-corner. Brandon Mefford well in command of this race with 4 laps to go, about 3 car lengths back to Brian McCann. McCann finally completing the pass on Neil Quick. Takes that second position, fires it down into turns 3 and 4. Now 3 laps to go. Now battle for 3rd. Neil Quick has the spot. The 76 of Butler, though, giving tap, tap, tap on that rear bumper. Garrett Johnston doing the same, and he gets into the 76, and he goes around, sends him into the grass.
Caution's out.
Caution does come out, so we're going to go to overtime. Thought that Butler was going to save it for a moment, but it just wasn't meant to be. So this is the exit of turn 2. Driver's been really trying to utilize that apron of the racetrack. Johnston gets into the back of the 76, gets him crossed up, gives him just a moment to try and catch it. Doesn't push him all the way through, but it was enough to get him sideways and into the grass. The caution still did come out. Surprising to see it, because he was very clear of other race traffic. So 125 laps, the advertised distance. We're going to go to NASCAR overtime, as they call it. It's not even really NASCAR here in late model stocks. It's the IROC Challenge Series overtime. Ken Couch jumping in says, "What's kicking, chicken?" Ken, thanks for being here, man. If you're just getting here, though, again, don't forget, there's another race immediately following this. Same broadcast, same link, same everything. You don't need to do anything. Just stay right here. We're going to try and get our top 3 finishers interviewed quickly post-race after this, and then we'll do the same, of course, once race 2 is complete. So, to clarify the rules of the green-white checkered, that means the green flag comes out, then the following lap, the white flag comes out, and then the one lap after that, well, that's when we drop the checkered flag. Then, if the green comes out and we get a caution before the leader takes the white, we line them up and we try it again. We'll do it up to 3 times. But if we have an issue on the 3rd one, that's it. Race over. Hopefully we don't get there. It's very rare that that will happen for us, but it's always that possibility. Pace car lights are out, ready for another restart. We'll watch Brian McCann and Brandon Mefford fight it out. Mefford's been lights out on these restarts tonight. We'll see if he can do it again. Pace car is in the restart zone. Both drivers fire simultaneously. A great jump, a great reaction for Brian McCann. Might have timed it just a bit. Gets down to the bottom in front of Neil Quick. Caution comes out again.
When you get a chance.
Chris Wally, I think, around. I couldn't tell. Yes, it was. Take a look what happened here at the 51 just a moment ago. Put us under our 13th caution of the night. Tyndall gets into the back of him. Just sends him around. Trying to get a look from the blimp here. That might give us a better angle on this. Middle of your screen, the number 51, that pinkish purple and black car. And I think I see it again here. More domino effect. The 99 maybe not moving quite as fast as Wally had expected him to. Has to jump on the brakes harder than he had planned, which means Tyndall runs him over. And then the chain reaction after that. Wally's going to bolt on some tires here at this point. You're going to be at the back anyway. Why not? Give it a shot. So this will be our second attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Trying to get this one squared away. All right, pace car lights out, ready for another restart. Let's watch Brian McCann, see if he can match that same restart he had a moment ago. It was perfect before. Mefford gets in the gas, a little better restart for the 83 this time, and now Brian McCann's got to worry about Neil Quick to the inside. 2 laps to go.
There will be a caution.
Nope. Another caution. 62 is around again. So is the 9 of Benefil and the 44, Larry Bruner. 3-car incident, it looks like. We'll try to get a look, see exactly what happened here. Larry Bruner getting in the back of the 62. Mike Cook gets a piece. Joshua Stewart. 14th caution of the night. It's been a rough one, folks. They're not all like this, but this one, a lot of bent sheet metal, a lot of tempers. So this will set us up for our third and final attempt at a green-white checkered finish. I don't even think the caution will necessarily come out if it needed to. I don't know how iRacing typically handles that on that third attempt, but either way, it's our third attempt. Got a little bit of action here in the stream chats, both on IROC and HBR TV streams. Feel free, guys, please. I don't have any problems with you guys venting in the chats. That's perfectly fine. Just keep it PG and just try to be as, I don't know, I think politically correct is the word I'm looking for, but. Raymond keeps retracting, but I don't think he said anything bad. You could have left it there, it's fine. A lot of frustrations from the Turzak camp, I can't blame them. And there it is, pace car lights are out. So next time by, we'll settle this once and for all. Hopefully we can make it to a checkered flag without wadding them up again. I'm surprised with as many cautions as we've had. We've only got a few cars out of this race, not even. I think there's really only one that's still in pit lane. That's Matt Kopp. Everybody else. Raymond Turzak, blame it on the wife. Pace car is in. Restart here from Langley. Great jump for Neil Quick. Brandon Mefford side by side with the 2. This for the race lead, and the caution is out. That's going to do it. Mefford's going to be your winner. I think you're still going to race it back to the line to be safe.
How you doing inside there? You feeling okay?
Brandon Mefford's going to be your race winner. Quick will finish second. 62 in the 00 involved in the backstretch. So is Chris Wally. Wally's still wrecking. That's it, race over. Brandon Mefford, your race winner. Race number 1. Took us an hour to get her done. A lot of mayhem here tonight. Race number 2 coming up shortly. We'll try to get our Top 3 finishers, Mefford, Quick, and McCann up in the booth quickly here post-race. Hopefully get a word with them. Mefford's got the donuts down in this car, that's for sure. All right, we're going to take them one at a time here. Brian McCann is available, so we're going to pull him up to the booth right now, get a word with our third place finisher. Brian, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got me? That was one whale of a race. And we had a bunch of cautions here tonight. A lot of tempers flaring, a lot of bent sheet metal. Of course, we've got the second one coming up here next. Walk us through quickly through your race tonight and what things you may or may not change here for race number 2.
Yeah, there was, I think about half the field that went in on the stage, and I decided not to go out with Brandon, and that kind of helped us since there were so many cautions. But it was kind of a gamble. Tires is an issue here, so the cars that got fresh rubber, they were, looking pretty, a little bit better. But that track position helps out a whole lot too. So it's just a gamble, whichever way you pick.
With the invert in race number 2, what's the strategy play for that one? How are you going to work your way through this field? It's going to be ginger. You're going to be aggressive. You got to go, don't you?
Yeah, but I want to dodge the wrecks. I don't want to, be caught up and then end my race there. So I'm going to try to keep it balanced.
Well, fair enough, Brian. Wish you the best of luck, man, and maybe we'll talk to you at the end of the second one here.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Brian McCann, your third place finisher. We're going to try and get Neil Quick up into the booth next and have a word with our runner-up. Doing things a little backwards because it just makes it easier. We got a short time frame here. But Neil Quick, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got us?
Yeah, Steve, got you.
Neil, congratulations, man. A hard-fought second place. Watching you battle with Brian McCann on those restarts, that was something to see. Walk us through that final green-white checkered. Was there any real battle there with the 3 at that point, or was it just a matter of time in the restart?
It was really hard. You had to
I think we lost Neil.
be Steve.
Neil, I think we're losing you. You're coming in and out here.
Hang on a second. You got me now?
Yep.
Yeah, just restarts were hard. You had to be on the inside to get a good restart and try to get some ground and make it a pass. So if you're on the outside, you were just trying to hold ground and not lose position. So us 3 up there were kind of going back and forth. And last restart there, had a good restart against Brandon. As soon as that happens, the caution comes out, so you can't make any moves.
Well, either way, fun race to watch, a great battle to watch. What's your thoughts on race number 2? We're going to see this thing run a little cleaner this time, you think?
God, I hope so. Had enough eye pacing for one night.
Eye pacing. All right, Neil. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Hopefully we get a chance to talk here at the end of this next one. Good luck.
Thanks, Steve.
Neil Quick, your runner-up here in race number 1. Now we're going to pull. I know we did things a little backwards here. We got to find Brandon Mefford because he's not where he's supposed to be. Let's see. There he is in the waiting room. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth, get a word with our race winner, race number 1 winner, Brandon Mefford. Brandon, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Steve.
Brandon, congratulations. A win this time, not just a top 3. Walk us through your race. You looked strong from the outset, never really looked back much. I know you didn't lead every lap, but you led a bunch. Talk us through your plan of attack for tonight, and then what's your thoughts on race 2, if it'd be any cleaner than this one?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So I started 4th, I believe it was. So my goal was to get down and log some laps. And early on, I felt really strong. I thought Brian and Kyle were the 3 of us were going to take off and run away with that if it had gone green. I felt like I had a little bit of extra speed, better than those guys, so I thought if I could at least get them up the track, maybe I could get by them. Got by Brian on a start, and then Kyle pit for tires, which proved detrimental to him because of all the cautions that we had. So stayed out front, tried to time those restarts well. Neil got a really good restart on that very last one before the last caution came out, but I think I had him where I needed him. Brian and those guys raced me really clean, so we did what we needed to do, stayed out front, stayed clean, and brought home the W.
One more before we get you into race number 2. What is going to be the key to success in race number 2 with this invert coming up? Do we see a cleaner race? Does it get worse? Does it stay the same? I mean, what's the plan of attack?
Well, usually the track's cooler. It's not near as slick, but I would say we're going to see something similar. This track's very tight. It's one lane. So on the restarts, everybody's trying to get what they can get, and it creates chaos, especially if someone misses a shift or they get a little sideways or they push a little bit. It backs the field up, and once they get stacked up, you spin somebody, and then we got a caution. So hopefully we can get everything going here shortly and have a clean race, but it's going to be tough to get through the field. I think some restarts are going to be key, and just staying clean.
All right, Brandon, congratulations on race number 1. Maybe you can make it 2 in a row. We'll talk to you again after this.
We'll do our best. Thanks, Steve.
Brandon Mefford, your race winner in race number 1 here from Langley. We're going to step aside, take a short break, and we'll be back with your starting grid to race number 2 in just a few moments. Stay with us.
Just don't know where that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy, brother. again. Try to find me a sweet little girl of mine, but chip whiskey is playing with my mind. I'm lost in a bottle. Lord, I can't stop feeling sorry for myself. I'm drowning on sorrow. A girl wants you and nobody else. I keep on looking every day and every night, but I just don't know where that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy, brother.
Back at Langley Speedway, the pre-race warm-up just about complete. About a minute remaining. Turzak the quickest with a 16:02. Race winner Brandon Mefford, 16:13. He's second quick. About 4 drivers short in this session versus the first race of the evening. Some drivers unable to make race number 2 tonight. That wraps up the warm-up session. We're going to jump right into the race. So let's do this. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position, it's the 3 of Brian McCann. Outside front row, it's the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Chris Wally will start in the 3rd position. Newt Quick rolls 4th. Kyle Turzak will start from the 5th position with Tim Schofield in the 12 starting in 6th. 7th starter, it's the 45 of Todd Cleek. 8th is Joshua Stewart. 9th goes to Neil Quick in the 2. Brent Butler will start 10th. 11th goes to Josh Funkhauser. 12th, Adam Benefill in the 9. Starting 13th, it's Mike Cook in the 00. Doug Wysocki starts 14th. Larry Bruner 15th. Garrett Johnston will start in the 15th position with Jarrett Wiedner again starting the number 99 at the tail of the field. On honestly, I don't think that's even accurate. It doesn't match at all to what they've got lined up on the field. So it's a little backwards. That's all right. You can kind of see where everybody is. Looks like Garrett Johnston, Schofield, Stewart, Benefill, Nuke Quick in 5th, Jarrett Wiedner 6th, 7th, Todd Kleek, Brent Butler, Josh Funkhauser, Brian McCann, Neil Quick, Brandon Mefford, Mike Cook, Chris Wally, Doug Wysocki, Larry Bruner, and Kyle Terzak at the back of the field. .10:37 on the East Coast as we get set for yet another 125 laps here from Langley Speedway. Yeah, Justin Kivett in the IROC chat. Don't think that starting grid is right. No, it wasn't even close. I think it was pretty much completely backwards, but we got it roughly correct after the fact.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. We're racing. Garrett Johnston, Timmy Schofield down into turn number 1. Leads the 12 of Schofield. Joshua Stewart running back in the 3rd position. Nuke Quick 4th. Adam Benefill in the 9 runs 5th. This was what's going to be fun to watch is the 051 of Terzak having to work his way through the field here. He's going to have to be a little patient, take care of the car, and no fast repair in this series. Terzak up a couple of positions already in the first 4 laps. Gets to the inside, takes yet another one away from the 44 of Larry Bruner. He's up to 14th. Further ahead, it's the 3 of Brian McCann. Started this race in 10th, and that's where he currently resides. Out front, Garrett Johnston still with the lead, maintaining that over the 12 of Schofield. And in fact, it's getting a little bit wider the distance between the 15 and the 12. 2 to 3 car lengths from 1st to 2nd. About the same back to 3rd in Joshua Stewart. Brian McCann was coming to the pits there for a moment. Not the case. New Quick in the 4, working on the back of the 03 of Josh Stewart. This would be for the 3rd position. Adam Benefill in the 5th position, but he's got Neil Quick to the back door. Slamming that knocker. Trying to get his attention, see if he can make a run and get by the 9. Again, one groove racetrack unless you want to go to the bottom and make it your own. Neil Quick now gets a nose to the inside of the 9 into turns 3 and 4. Brandon Mefford may follow Quick through. Neil Quick now up to the 5th spot. Brandon Mefford does drive it to the bottom of the racetrack, takes the spot as well. So move Adam Benefill back to P7 as Quick and Mefford get on by. Johnston still out in front. Car length and a half to 2. Back to Timmy Schofield. 12 laps in here from Langley Speedway. Kyle Terzak still working his way through the field. He's up to 11th. He's made 6 passes for position since the start of this one. Make it 7. Make it 7 and 8. Terzak into the top 10, looking for 9th. He's got the 45 of Todd Kleek to the outside and quickly disposes of him. So now Terzak up to the 9th position. Now he's in behind Brian McCann. This is where it starts to get a little more difficult. Closer to the front you go, the harder it is to pass these guys. Brian McCann in behind the 9, right to the back bumper, trying to just find the right opportunity. Might loosen him up a bit here. Drives it to the apron off turn number 4. He knows he's got a very fast Kyle Turzak in behind. It's time to go if you're the 3 of McCann. Drives it to the grass in the middle of turn 2. Gets to the inside of Benefiel. Benefiel gets the wall, gets into McCann in the entrance to turn number 3. Gets crossed up. McCann hangs onto it. Still alongside Adam Benefiel. The start-finish line. This battle just not ending. Finally, McCann gets clear, and now Turzak's got to deal with it. Door handle to door handle through turns 3 and 4. Turzak back on the throttle. Benefiel trying to battle back as well. Not giving an inch, but Turzak gets clear in the middle of 1 and 2. Turzak into the 8th position. McCann now 7th. Changes up front. Brandon Mefford trying to knock on the door of Neil Quick as they both have gone past the 03 of Josh Stewart. Oh, trouble. Benefiel's in a wall.
Guys, just quickly, just remember, nice and smooth, take in fluid, stay by those fans, do what you need to keep cool.
First caution of the night, 21 laps in. We'll get a look at it here. The 9 in trouble. Benefiel driving it down into turns 3 and 4. Gets the left sides below the yellow line. That's fair game. It gets back to the throttle and just drives in the back of the 4 car. Gets him crossed up. Actually straightens the 4 back out. Funkhauser goes around. And the 9 of Benefiel having to straighten his end out. Get back on the racetrack here. Hits the big tractor tires protecting the end of pit wall. Interestingly enough, we got some drivers on pit lane, Brian McCann being one of them. It's interesting to see this strategy because this seems to be the opposite of what you'd want to do. We saw Turzak go this route at the beginning of the first race. He was quick to come down pit lane and take some tires. I think it was just right sides, but it put him in the back of the pack. And after that, well, things got pretty chaotic. Turzak involved in a few incidences at least, that ultimately took him out of that first race of the evening. Now the difference is I think there's about 4 less cars in this one, which doesn't seem like a huge difference, but 17 to 21 on a 3/8 mile oval, that's a difference. Does open up the space on the racetrack. We've seen it the first 21 laps here. We ran caution free. So that's going to switch things up a bit. It'll have Garrett Johnston still with the race lead, but Neil Quick's going to restart second. Brandon Mefford, your winner in race number 1, he'll start 3rd. Josh Stewart 4th, and Turzak didn't take long. Already into the top 5, up 12 positions for the 051. Again, I don't know Kyle Turzak from Adam other than this series, but he's got so much pace, so much talent. If he can sprinkle in just an ounce of patience, that's going to make him even more dangerous. And I don't mean as far as wrecks are concerned. I mean as far as a threat to win these things. Not that he isn't already. Pace car is in, green flag in the air. Johnston hammers the throttle. Real Quick with a good reaction, but so does Brandon Mefford to the inside of Quick in the middle of turn 2 on exit. Both drivers get to the gas. A little wiggle from the 2 of Neil Quick into 3. I thought they were going to make contact. They didn't. Mefford hanging tough to the inside, but nothing doing there. Meanwhile, Turzak's jumped to the 4th position on the restart, still alongside this battle for the 2nd spot. Between Neil Quick really loose off turn number 2. Has to gather it up. Door slams with the 051, loses 2 spots, 1 to Mefford, 1 to Turzak. Quick back to the 4th position. Turzak now battling for the 2nd spot. Gets to the inside of Brandon Mefford here. Lap 28 up on the board. Turzak not afraid to dip all 4 tires below the racing line. Mefford pushing as hard as he can. Might have got the wall on the exit of turn 4 there. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Turzak still not able to get clear, and there's a wreck in front of the leaders. Not sure exactly who it was. It may have been the 4. Might have been the 4 New Quick. I don't know. Let's get a look at it. Ah, Todd Kleek and Nuke Quick. We'll back this up a little bit further and see if we can get an idea of how this one happened. Another domino effect style crash, it looks like. Slow it down here. You can see the 4 of Nuke Quick, followed by the 34 of Doug Wysocki, Todd Kleek, and then Adam Benefill in behind. These 4 cars have end up in this incident. A little bit of contact off the nose of Wysocki. It's going to send Quick around. But you see, Wysocki checked up to let him try and save it, and the guys that are in behind the 34, I guess, didn't notice, didn't want to lift. I'm not sure the scenario there. I know the visibility is not perfect in these race cars, but nonetheless. Todd Kleek up the racetrack, nose first into the outside wall. Looks like the 9 and 34 are going to get away pretty cleanly here, maybe even the 4 of Nuke Quick. 33 laps complete here from Langley Speedway. Field still behind the iRacing official pace car. Lights are still ablaze. Expecting them to be extinguished as we cross start finish. We should be on the one to go. Turzak's ready to fire up on the back bumper of Garrett Johnston. Johnston in the throttle. Whole top 4 got a great restart there. Turzak to the inside of Mefford. Mefford goes to the outside of Garrett Johnston. I don't know if Johnston missed a shift, missed the gas pedal, I don't know, but Mefford had a whale of a run on turn 2 and couldn't do anything with it. Now he's alongside Turzak for the 2nd spot. Man, oh man, oh man, it might just be a matter of time before someone's facing the wrong direction. Neil Quick gets to the inside, or at least for a moment, checks up to avoid contact. Johnson still out in front. Now Turzak closing in. Oh, Neil Quick real loose after contact with Brandon Mefford. Great battle going on here for the 3rd position. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the race lead. Turzak taking a peek to the inside on Garrett Johnston. A little loose on exit. Everybody having that similar problem. Man, Turzak just gets into turn 1 so well. Turzak showing a lot of patience here, doing a good job, just running in behind the 15. We know how hard it is to pass here. On board with Turzak. Gets to the inside. Does he have enough? Turzak takes the spot away. New leader, lap 44. It's Kyle Turzak to the point. Johnston gets to the flat, trying to fight back and retake it. Not enough grip, not enough momentum, whatever the reasons are, he's still stuck in behind. About a car length off the back bumper of the 051 of Kyle Turzak. Meanwhile, third place still belongs to Brandon Mefford. Neil Quick in the fourth position, about 3 car lengths behind Chris Wally, attacking. He's right there as well. I gotta wonder if Neil Quick just overheated those Hoosiers, because he's starting to fall back. Chris Wally gets alongside and then completes his pass and move Wally up into the 4th spot. Saw Neil Quick fighting very hard to try and either get to Kyle Turzak and then subsequently Garrett Johnston now running second, starting to feel the pressure from Brandon Mefford, the winner in our previous race tonight. Mefford would love to go 2 in a row. Fastest lap of the race thus far is by the 051 of Kyle Turzak. It's a 16.04. Second fastest, well, it's that driver in the second spot, Garrett Johnston, with a 16.09. Clean air, even in this tiny 3/8 mile, it does make a difference. 2 drivers that are 1 and 2 have the fastest laps on the track thus far. Real loose in the middle. I think Johnston got a little more than he bargained for by dumping it down the flat of the racetrack. Mefford trying to use the low side as well to get that race car to turn. 51 laps complete here from Langley Speedway of the planned 125. Still watching this battle for the second position. We'll ride on board with Brandon Mefford. Brandon had mentioned in his interview about tires actually coming into play here versus a lot of these tracks where they weren't that important. Again, track temperature being what it is. Might be a little bit cooler. No, it's not. Still 135 degrees Fahrenheit here at Langley Speedway as Brandon Mefford takes the second spot from Garrett Johnston. Very clean pass for the 83, move him up into P2. We thought this race was actually going to happen in the later stages of the day into the evening. But I'm not sure this track even has lights now that I think about it. No, it's got lights. Well, nevertheless, race continues on. Chris Wally back in that 4th position. Josh Funkhauser has slipped up to 5th position, while Brian McCann is up to the 6th position. Remember, McCann started in 10th here tonight, but he did make a pit stop at lap 22. And McCann, looks like it was only right side tires, so he's going to have a little bit of an advantage as this race progresses towards the end, if we continue to run green flag laps the way that we are. That strategy can pay off. It didn't work out great for Turzak for various reasons in that first race. One, he seemed to get caught in a lot of those cautions and being involved in at least 3 of them that I could see. But also there was continued cautions after the fact. So that tire differential from one race car to the next really didn't come into play because running at pace speed. You're not going to wear those tires out circling behind the pace car. Here, in this race, we've had a couple of cautions. It hasn't been anywhere near as chaotic as race number 1. So tire strategy for McCann could play off for him depending on how the rest of this race cycles through. Just a few laps, just a couple of laps shy of halfway here at Langley. Watching this battle with Josh Funkhauser and Jarrett Wiedner. This for the 6th spot. Brent Butler is in behind there. He had a strong run going at the end of the first race as well, so he's going to be a factor in this fight. Feeling the pressure from the 76 of Butler. Butler was right there. Might have even gave him a little bump to say, hey, I'm here. That's your first warning. Raymond Terzak says, yes, night racing every Saturday night at Langley. And Butler got in there deep again. I thought he was going to turn the 99 around, but somehow stayed off the back bumper. Watching this fight. In fact, let's go on board with Butler and watch him as he tries to reel in the 99. If there's going to be contact, we'll see it. Might get a spot from Funkhauser here as he may follow the 99 on through. Butler up one position, but still in behind the 99 of Jarrett Wiedner. Meanwhile, out front, Terzak still with the race lead and starting to stretch it out. He's got 2.6 seconds back to second place, Brandon Mefford. 4 seconds plus back to third place, Garrett Johnston. 69 laps complete here from Langley Speedway. We're going to take our HBR TV side-by-side break. Stay with us, you won't miss a moment. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Langley Speedway, 83 laps complete. We watch Neil Quick running in the 12th position as he hits pit lane. No, he was going to hit pit lane, at least I thought. Dumped it down low. He was contending up in the top 5 there for quite a while. We thought he was just trying to cool his tires down, but he has since fallen a lap down. I don't know if he just burned up that right front that significantly, but he's in the wall again. A little bit of right front damage on the 2. Well, Terzak still out in front, maintaining a 5-second lead over second place Brandon Mefford. Quick does come to pit lane this time. I don't know if this is planned or if he's just calling it quits. Right side goes in the air, so at least a right side tire change for Neil Quick. Garrett Johnston, meanwhile, from the top 3 positions, he comes down pit road as well. I think he was actually running 4th at the time. He's going right side tires. I can't imagine. Well, maybe he'll go 4 tires. We'll see. Nope, right sides only for Garrett Johnston. He's back in the thick of it. Now, if we look at tire fall off as an example, fast lap of the race, 16:04 by Kyle Terzak. His last lap was a 17:17. Now, there might have been some lap traffic involved there because we're running more in the mid to upper 16s. Not a ton of fall off with these tires, but you don't want to run the risk of blowing a right front. 90 laps complete. Terzak still out in front. Also has not made a pit stop as of yet. Brian McCann, though, now into the 2nd position as he's recently cleared Brandon Mefford. Mefford still runs in the 3rd position. A little bit of a ways back, almost a whole straightaway at this point, which isn't much considering the size of this racetrack, but he has not made a pit stop either. Brent Butler in the 4th position. He has also made a pit stop, same time that Brian McCann had. He runs 4th. Jarrett Wiedner, no pit stop for Wiedner. He runs 5th, but Tim Schofield, he did make a pit stop, also at lap 22. Fuel only, maybe right sides, but nevertheless, he runs in the 6th position. Terzak's lapped everybody up to the 8th position, and that's Chris Wally. Next one to go down here, Wally's going to be to the outside. Terzak cleanly to the inside. He takes the spot with ease. Race winding down here from Langley Speedway. Kyle Terzak, remember, he had to start dead last here tonight. Took him all of about 20 laps to get up into the top 5, and I think it was lap 44 when he finally took over the top spot. Josh Funkhauser is going to hit pit road. Looking at lap times, though, remember Brian took right side tires, I believe. But his last lap was a 16:66. Terzak was faster, but only by about 3/10. Not even 3/10, 300ths. Same story again. McCann ran a 69. Terzak a 63. Now it's 66. Ken runs a 65. So not a huge advantage for those right sides other than the fact you run less risk of blowing a right front tire. Certainly can happen. Terzak just lapping cars at will right now. He's up only 5 cars now on the lead lap. Johnston putting the pressure on Turzak. I think Johnston does have those fresher tires, so he's going to take that lap back the old-fashioned way. Turzak's not going to fight him on it. 102 laps complete here from Langley Speedway. Closing in on the finish of race number 2 of the afternoon. Todd Kleek giving the leader a wide berth through 3 and 4. Ryan McCann still running in that second position, still 5 seconds back. That's a third of a lap, just about. Not gaining, not losing. It's a little faster here, a little slower there. It's kind of a back and forth for the 3. Still a solid run to get up to that second position. Honestly, though, Ryan could really use a caution here to get these guys all even back up. Top 4 now of the lead lap. Turzak, McCann, Brett Butler, Tim Schofield. Schofield, though, not long for the lead lap as Turzak's right there, car length off the back bumper. Turzak to the bottom, gets clear of Schofield. Now it's just the top 3 that remain on the lead lap. Turzak, McCann, and Butler. Butler about a half lap ahead of Turzak for the time being. Say, you get Kyle Turzak fired up, all of a sudden he's that much faster. And remember, he started dead last. Took over the top spot again, I think it was about lap 44, and he's not looked back ever since. And since then, he's just going lap after lap after lap, picking guys off, putting them a lap down. As it stands, there's only 2 other cars on the same lap as race leader Kyle Turzak. Just about 15 laps remaining off turn number 4. Wiedner getting to the inside here. He's likely got a little fresher tires. He's going to try and take a lap back. Turzak's not going to fight it. Interestingly enough, I mean, Turzak still reeled in and lapped Tim Schofield. Schofield made a pit stop in lap 22. I don't know for certain that he took right side tires, but I'm just going to make the assumption that he did. Even with those newer right sides, he's not able to take that lap back from Turzak. He did have a great run there out of turn number 2. Thought he was going to go to the inside, but I don't know what he's really going to try to gain here. He slips up the racetrack, though. Schofield's going to lose a ton of ground. Brett Butler running in 3rd, not a battle for position for the time being as he does get to the inside of Larry Bruner. Bruner running in 15th. Neil Quick rolling through, he's running 12th. Neil Quick running 11th in behind Chris Wally in the standings. Mike Cook, the bottom of the racetrack, might be coming to pit lane. Off turn number 4, it'll be 8 laps to go, 9 laps to go, that is, for Kyle Turzak. Schofield gets to the inside, trying to take his lap back. Chris Wally may be coming through to try and do the same. Gets a little loose on entry, though. Gets to the inside of Schofield. Wally must have real fresh tires. But look at the differential from 1st to 2nd. Turzak's there, and Brian McCann's there. He's to the inside, taking advantage here late in the going, coming to 7 laps to go. Where did Brian McCann come from? He was 5 seconds back. ran Turzak down and through lap traffic, got to the inside of the 051, and now he is putting some daylight between himself and the 051. 1.5 seconds. I don't know if Turzak's got a problem or if he's trying to save fuel. I know he has not made a pit stop yet. Brandon Mefford now trying to take second away. No, Mefford not on the lead lap. Mefford running 7th. Todd Cleek gets to the back of the 051. I don't know if he's out of gas. He's got to come to pit lane late. Tough break for Turzak. Was dominating this thing. I'm not sure what the pass-through was for. Turzak, though, he had such an advantage on the field. He's still in the 3rd spot. 4 laps to go for Brian McCann. Turzak back in pit lane. I don't know if he missed his pit stall or what he's trying to do here, but nevertheless, chances at a race win are out the window for Turzak. He's going to put right sides on it anyway. He's going to lose a lap here to Brian McCann. Now it's McCann and Butler, the only two on the lead lap with 2 laps remaining. Final lap for Brian McCann. Started in the 10th spot. Thought there was nothing going to happen between him and Turzak. He ran him down, got the spot. Turzak had to pit, and here it is. Checkered flag waves. Brian McCann wins it. Butler finishes in the 2nd spot. We wait for Tim Schofield. Timmy's going to finish 3rd, 1 lap down. Brian McCann lighting up the rear tires in that late model stock. Is he going to blow up? Pretty strong Chevrolet under the hood of that number 3 machine. All those burnouts, and he doesn't grenade the engine. What a race, what a finish. Totally different than race number 1. We're going to step aside and get a quick break out of the way. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Just like that, back at Langley Speedway, our top 3 finishers, Brian McCann, Brent Butler, and Timmy Schofield. See if we can get a word with our race winner, the driver of the number 3, Brian McCann. Brian, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got me?
Hey, I do.
Brian, congratulations, man. Started 10th in this one. We saw a much different race unfold here tonight. Much cleaner, much faster. What Walk us through the closing laps, though. We thought you were done for. A 5-second gap between yourself and Kyle Turzak. You ran him down. I don't know if he had a fuel problem or what the scenario was there, but nonetheless, you caught him, you passed him, you never looked back, you took the checkered flag.
Yeah, so early on, I didn't really gain many spots before the stage, so I forget what position I was in, but I was like, maybe I just go for the tire strategy, and the thinking was, maybe this race would go green where everybody was tired of wrecking the last race, and luckily that's sort of what happened. And at the start, after the first stage, I just took it easy. I just kind of rode behind people, and when an opportunity came, I took it. I didn't burn my tires up because I knew if the whole race went green, then that right front was going to die and people were going to start getting meatballs. So I was meatball racing there, and worked out in my favor.
Well, certainly a strong finish, and I know I just got a note here in the stream chat I found from Kyle Turzak's issue. I guess there was some contact possibly with a lap car, had a suspension failure, and ended up having to take it to pit road. So either way, lucky, good. You still had to be in position to pick this thing up. You take home the checkered flag, so congratulations. Next week, we've got a break. We've got our off week, so we can kind of take it easy, but I know a lot of you guys are going to be preparing for Slinger Speedway in a couple of weeks. I haven't turned a single lap there myself. Haven't called a race there, so that's going to be a first for us. Do you have any laps there in this car yet?
I don't even know what Slinger Speedway is, so good luck to me. So I'm going to have to, I guess, practice it some, or actually just look to see what it is, but we'll give it our all, though.
From what I hear, it's a fan favorite, so I'm excited to see it and looking forward to it. Brian, congratulations, man. Strong win here, finally getting you to victory lane. Who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
Yeah, my family, you for doing the broadcast, and Zach, too. I know you had to drop off. The admins of the league putting this show on, Race Control, the guys showing up here every week, putting on a great show, great race. I'm just excited to come out here every week and have fun. So, big thank you to our sponsors. Thank you.
It's Brian McCann, your race winner here from Langley Speedway. Next up, our runner-up, the 76 of Brent Butler. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. He had a strong run in the first race this afternoon, but finishes up with a runner-up finish here at race number 2 at Langley. Brent, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Brent, congratulations, man. As I said, a strong run here tonight. First race and the second race. I think this is a little bit better finish for you. Walk us through the game plan, the strategies coming into this second race after the very chaotic first race of the evening with all those cautions. Did you change anything from your plan that you had coming in?
No, actually, I treated it the same as the last twin race that we had, the Five Flags deal. Basically, I just, after the first stage, I knew we'd need tires if it went green, so I took tires, and turned out it ended up the same way.
Certainly paid off. Your car looks pretty clean here. I don't think you had any major incidents to speak of. How chaotic was it? I know track temperature was a little greasy, a little hot out there, made things a little slick, but what kind of incidents did you avoid, or were you in some? Maybe we just didn't catch them.
No, I actually ended up with 0 incident points that race, so pretty clean there. Just tried to take my time, knew it'd take a couple laps to pass anybody until I got to them and fanned out.
0 incident points. I don't know if there's a bonus point system for that, but there should be, especially after that first race this evening. Well, either way, looking into next week, we've got the week off, of course. We're going to take a nice break, but the race coming up after that, Slinger Speedway. Brian McCann says he doesn't even know what Slinger Speedway is. Some of us know, but is that a track you're accustomed to racing on since iRacing put it onto the service?
Yeah, me and my friends race there a lot since it's pretty similar to Anderson Speedway in Indiana, so we seem to enjoy it.
So you got some laps there. How do you feel about a repeat of a top 3, maybe even a win in a couple of weeks at Slinger?
I'd say I could probably do a top 5. I don't know about a win, but we'll see.
Only one shy here tonight. Congratulations again, Brent. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
Just you and all the guys that put on this league, so it's a fun time, so thank you.
All right, Brent. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck. Have a good week off.
Thank you.
Brent Butler, your runner-up here from Langley Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the driver of the 12, Timmy Schofield. Don't get a chance to talk to Timmy a whole lot, but I'm sure this one's going to be a fun one. Tim, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got a copy?
So this is what the interview room looks like.
You know, I was just saying, we don't get to talk to Tim Schofield a lot, but once in a while we get him up here in the booth, and well, here you are. Langley Speedway, top 3 finish, man. Tell us about your night.
Well, I'm traveling this week, so I had to get set up with about 15 minutes left in the practice session for race 1. So that was pretty much my practice was race 1, and ended up 3 laps down early, getting tied up in the incident. But with all the cautions, ended up with a middle pack finish, which put me up front for the second race, and enjoyed the P2 stage points, and went in for tires. Took the hit on track position, but ended up paying off in the long run. P3 a lap down, but usually when you do what the McCanns do, it ends up working out for you.
P3 is P3. Who cares about that lap down?
Heck yeah, I'll take it.
With all that, again, you started up towards the front by way of the invert, but you didn't really have to look too far forward to get back towards the front. You were a factor in this thing most of the evening. It was a strong run. Is this place just kind of suit driving style?
You know what? Fresh tires suit my driving style.
I think that applies for everybody.
Yeah, it worked out good, and when you have a little fresher rubber than everybody else, it's bound to be good for you.
Well, Tim, again, congratulations. A solid run here tonight. Third place finish. Who do you have to thank?
Well, first I gotta thank my wife at home, who's taking care of the girls this week while I'm out of town. She lets me do this every week, and love her to death for it. It's a lot of fun with these guys. All the competitors out here tonight, and the guys who are out here every week. It's a lot of fun. It's a really good group of guys. You for the broadcast, and our sponsors.
Well, Tim, also, I forgot to ask, though, obviously we've got the off week coming up next week, so no races here in IROC Challenge, but 2 weeks from now we go to Langley Speedway, a relatively new track to the iRacing service. Brian McCann's never heard of it. Brent Butler, he's turned some laps there. It's similar to his home track. He likes the place. What's your take on Slinger? Do you have any laps there yet?
I don't. Is that in Wisconsin?
I believe it is, and I think it's a high banked.
Well, I guess that would be somewhat of a homecoming track for me, but I have never tried it out, so this will be a new one.
Well, some lessons to be learned here in the coming weeks. Tim, congratulations, man. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck at Slinger in a couple of weeks.
Thanks a lot.
It's Tim Schofield, your third place finisher here from Langley Speedway. Let's take a look at our race results after this one's in the books. Of course, Brian McCann, Brent Butler, Timmy Schofield, your top three. Garrett Johnston was fourth, Jarrett Wiedner fifth, Brandon Mefford was sixth, Chris Wally seventh. Kyle Turzak, after contact with a lap car late in the race, damaged his suspension. He finished in the 8th position, 3 laps down. Neil Quick was 9th, 10th went to Mike Cook. Nuke Quick finished 11th. Adam Benefalt was 12th, 13th, Joshua Stewart. Todd Cleek was 14th. Larry Bruner came home in the 15th spot. Josh Funkhauser was 16th. And Doug Wysocki finished it out in 17th, 74 laps down. Tough race number 2 for Doug Wysocki. Thank you guys all for tuning in here this evening. I really do appreciate it. Stream chat wasn't too bad tonight. It's was busier than it has been in weeks past, so we do appreciate that. It was a lot of Turzak conversation, which, well, if you watch the broadcast tonight, I think everybody's going to understand why. But either way, strong run tonight for Kyle Turzak in this second race. Dominant performance. Just cannot buy a break here. Last couple of weeks, of course, the Roval last week, not his cup of tea. He was quick, but had a rough go of it as well. And same situation here at Langley. Probably looking forward to the break. Certainly looking forward to Slinger here in a couple of weeks. With that said, guys, I do appreciate you being here. If you haven't already liked the stream, click that thumbs up. Help us out in that department. That'll push this stream out to wider audiences. Get some fresh eyeballs on the channel, fresh eyeballs on the league. It's a win-win, and it's free to do. Also, HBRTV1.com. Click the live tab on the day of the race, preferably in the late afternoon. We should have the link available and updated in most circumstances. I haven't been perfect this year, but man, I've been way better than I was last few months of 2023. So we're trying to have a better batting average when it comes to that, so that you guys have an easy place to go find it at our website at HBRTV1.com. Click the live tab, and you're good to go. With that said, we're wrapping it up here. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Congratulations to Brian McCann on the race win here from Langley Speedway. Tune in next week. 2 weeks from now. Slinger Speedway. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.